Alrighty, we're back for some more matchups. Let's get started.
Good gosh, that was loud. What's up, man?
My bad. Maybe turn your headphones down. Relax.
Yeah, I did now.
Just kidding. Okay, Houston at Carolina. Over under is 45.5. What do you feel about CJ Stroud this week?
I'm feeling me some CJ Stroud.
It's a middle of the road matchup, but I think it's a good stream start. Maybe expect 15 points.
Yeah, I think it'll be better. I think it'll be better than expected because Panthers have a hard time staying on the field, really.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got plenty of opportunity. He's going to show up. Bryce Young.
It'll be the Nico show. I'm hoping.
Yeah. What about Nico? Hard start
for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think
I got him in both leagues, and I'm playing him.
I think Tank Dell is a good start this week, coming back from his injury. I think
he is coming back.
Him. Yep, I think you can start him.
Yeah, I agree.
That means Dalton Schultz probably is getting relegated a little bit, but I think he's a good start too this week. How about you?
Yeah, he's number 3.
Yeah, I think you can start him. I think if he was on anybody's waivers, he should be on your team. What about Dameon Pierce and Devin Singletary?
No. Singletary, actually, I like better than Dameon Pierce.
Yeah, I think eventually, I do too.
Eventually, I think Singletary will get the bulk of the workload.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't start either of them with confidence this week, but I think you can start Devin Singletary in PPR. So
I would pick up Singletary and just put him in your last bench spot because just a feeling.
I like
that the second half of the season, they find out that they're not interested in 2.5 yards of carry and they want some Devin Singletary and they just give him the rock.
Yeah, I agree. So probably not starting. I actually think you can start Houston Texans defense. Sorry, I changed my mind mid sentence.
You definitely can, especially when your QB's 5'10".
Yeah, I think
you can't even see the receivers, man.
Yeah, I think the defense is coming into it, and it's a good matchup. So, so that means you're probably not starting Bryce Young. How do you feel about Miles Sanders or Chuba Hubbard?
For the record, I hope Bryce Young proves me wrong. I just don't believe in him.
Yeah,
prove me wrong, Bryce. But Chuba Hubbard,
maybe.
Oh man, I like that. Yeah, I don't feel very confident in it. If you're asking me, no. But you do what you want. Adam Thielen, I like that guy.
Yeah,
he's got a second wind. He's getting a second wind of his career.
Yeah, that's about the only guy I think you can start. Confidently.
Miles,
for sure.
Miles Sanders has kind of been disappointing. He's kind of been getting points just because he will catch, a few passes each game.
Yeah. It's just basically Thielen. And
he's rushed 61 times and only has 190 yards. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yep. So I think that's about it. You're not starting their defense. So on to the next one. You got the Atlanta Falcons at the Tennessee Titans. Over under is really, this is the lowest because it's 35, not 35.5. So Desmond Ridder probably on your bench.
Starbo defenses.
Yeah. I think you can definitely start the Falcons for sure, especially with Will Levis, you saying getting the start.
No, did you say Ridder on your bench?
Yeah, Ridder's on your bench.
No, I hope he's not even on anybody's bench.
Well, I mean,
I did that one week. I'm like, dude, I just believe in him, and I think he got like 4 points or something.
yep,
That's kind of
yep.
embarrassing.
Get rid of him. Brian says it. No, I mean you're definitely not starting him, so he's not even on your bench, maybe. So yeah, Bijan, how do you feel about him? Is he going to make a comeback this week?
If they invested in, I guess, Advil, Tylenol, I don't know.
Fine, I guess you are my little pog champ. Come here.
That's what Brian
Give him a
says.
roll. I mean, you don't really have any options. Throw him in.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he doesn't piss you off 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I mean, it's really Arthur Smith that pisses you off because he just does whatever he wants at the goal line, and Bijan's not going to get the touchdowns, and he just. You thought he was a good option in fantasy this week. He was just primed and ready to, but it's just Arthur Smith is just screwing him over. So what do you feel about Kyle Pitts and Jonnu Smith?
I bet Robinson actually has like an amazing game. After
he might.
You know, he's been hearing it by everybody.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough matchup, but you saw the Colts defense or the Colts rushing attack beat Tennessee's rush defense. So I think you got to put him in your lineup. You drafted him that high, you're starting him.
Yeah, you said Jonnu Smith,
and Kyle Pitts. I mean, I'm just still more confident in Jonnu, and maybe it's just me hating on Pitts, but I mean,
they're dead even. I think they're the same player.
Yeah, Pitts is maybe going a little bit deeper, getting less targets, and then Jonnu's getting higher targets but less valuable. So
their average is Jonnu Smith is 11.4. Kyle Pitts is 11.9. Both of their longs are 33 and 39. They both have one touchdown a pair.
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith has 28 receptions. Kyle Pitts has 25. So they're pretty. And they're only 11 yards difference also on the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jonnu's like the cheap Mike or Kyle Pitts. I mean, if you didn't have to waste a draft pick on Kyle Pitts, you could have just had Jonnu Smith. So picked him up. So I think they're both startable in this matchup. And we already said the Falcons D is pretty great. You're not
Drake London actually has a better quarterback rating than their quarterback.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Got that trick play going. We didn't talk about Drake London. I think he's a good start this week. He's got a lot of juicy matchups coming up. So
yeah.
He's definitely a trade for target for me. But yeah,
I'd be way more excited about him if they could get a quarterback.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I just see in this stretch he'll get you. He'll outperform his projections here a decent amount of these upcoming weeks. So you're probably not starting, Malik Willis or Will Levis. So, did you hear about Derrick Henry possibly getting traded? Trade deadlines next week. Yeah.
Is he going anywhere?
Wasn't it to? I think the rumor was it Baltimore? Because they're been having a lot of injury issues with running backs the past 3 seasons.
I forget. I heard a team, but I forget who it was, and it was a team that already had like running backs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Eagles?
Nah.
No way it would be the Eagles. That doesn't even make sense.
But I mean, as far as this matchup goes, you're probably starting them. You draft them high enough. I don't expect a lot of fantasy output, but
and Tajay Spears is probably already taken, but if he's available, get him.
Yeah, they're underdogs here, so but it's such a low over under. If it was a higher over under, which it wouldn't be much higher because it's pretty bad scoring offenses in general, the Tennessee Titans are. So, but I'd see Tajay as a better start. But in this game, yeah, I mean he's going to be about equal to a little bit less than Derrick Henry. What about these receivers here? Pass? Or you think you're going to start DeAndre Hopkins?
If you're not very deep at wideout, then yeah, you could flex DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe put him in your second flex spot. But
Yeah.
that is all. That's all I
Yeah.
would start.
Yep. No Chigakonkwo, and I wouldn't start this defense either. They haven't been the greatest, and their Atlanta's strong suit is the run game. So it's kind of a movable force, unstoppable object. But
On paper, I thought their defense was going to be great, but yeah. And then they just got rid of Byard,
yeah, exactly.
their superstar safety.
Yeah, and another ridiculous trade that gives away a good player from Tennessee. It's like that. It's like when Aaron Rodgers is like, "I own you," but it's Howie Roseman like, "I own you" to the Tennessee Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, on to the next one. We got Cleveland Browns at the Seattle Seahawks. Over under is 37.5. Cleveland is underdogs by 3.5. PJ Walker is going to start. So, how do you feel about Amari Cooper?
I would start Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I haven't seen too bad of a downturn with PJ Walker. I mean, I think it's another good matchup.
Jerome Ford is questionable.
Yeah.
Even just with that tag, I would probably leave him on your bench this week.
Yeah, I mean, Kareem Hunt's going to get an uptick in opportunities, but I see Jerome Ford potentially starting. You might be too afraid, but I think Jerome Ford's a better start than when they're both fully healthy. So, just pick your poison, I guess, because it's a low over under. But it's a decent matchup for running backs.
37. It's kind of odd.
Yeah, but so what about Njoku, Slender Man?
Nah.
Yeah, me neither. Browns defense, they're stout, man. You think they're gonna do well against Seattle?
Nah. Seattle's at home. I just feel like that's just where they. That is just where they all their good games. I feel like they're at home.
Yeah. I mean, Browns still gave you fantasy relevance last week against the Colts, even though they gave up almost 40 points. So
I know that's crazy. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
But I think Myles Garrett can maybe get a turnover here or there. Geno might turn the ball over.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, again, not the greatest matchup you want to see, but I think they're startable just based on their fantasy output. And
I'm bad at picking
matchup.
Defenses because if it's not a 49ers against the Giants, which I'm like, oh, that's obvious, then I'm just like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I feel like anything could happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a stout defense, a lot of turnovers. I mean, low over under. I see those three positives. I think you can start them, but again, it's not going to be a huge output, like 30 points. Seattle's offense. Geno, you think he's a streamer this week? I don't think so.
No.
It's a pretty tough matchup, and I mean that just shows you how hard it's going to be for the wide receivers.
I streamed him last week with a good matchup, and he got me like 13 points. So now,
maybe he's not even in the stream category. Rest of the season, he hasn't been doing the greatest. So what about JSN, Tyler Lockett? I think DK Metcalf's going to be back this week, so
I would start DK. I would probably start Lockett. I would probably stay away from JSN.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, DK's like gonna only get you 10 to 15 at most. He's not gonna get you any more than 15. So probably closer to 10. Coming off his injury, he can play hurt, so I'm not too worried. He's the safest floor. No tight ends for Seattle. What about Kenneth
Yeah,
Walker
DK,
potentially
he has
being
that
out?
60-inch vertical leap. Remember that video?
Oh yeah,
Can,
DK's a hoss.
Walker is potentially out.
Yeah, he's potentially out this week.
Of course,
Charbonnet.
it's when I let go of Charbonnet, then
Well,
Walker gets hurt.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think Walker's like completely ruled out, but I think it might be closer to a game time decision. But with this matchup, I mean, I'm not starting Charbonnet in his first premier matchup against this stout Browns defense, especially the rush defense.
No. Well,
So-
if Kenny Walker doesn't play, then yeah, I would. Honestly, I would.
Well, I mean, that's what I was saying. I would if Kenny Walker's out, and if Kenny Walker's in, I think you just need to temper your expectations for him because
Yeah.
tough matchup.
If it might be a bad play, but yeah, I would put Charbonnet in if Walker didn't play.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean he's great talent. I just don't know if he can outperform it in this first like full start,
That's
solo
fair.
start. What about the Seahawks defense? They did well, maybe once or twice this season, but I mean, PJ Walker hasn't been the greatest.
Just because it's PJ freaking Walker, I would start the Seattle Seahawks defense.
I mean, they're even without him, they're the fourth best matchup for defenses. So, I mean, they did well against the Giants earlier this season in a good
There you
matchup.
go. Oh, another Jamal Adams is back.
Yeah, yeah. Done punching those doctors back to the field.
Is
I'm
he
just
punching
playing.
a doctor? I didn't even hear
He
about
got fined for he got in fight with the concussion protocol doctor.
I was at work today. Oh, I forgot to mention on the Saints matchup, Alave got pulled over going 70 and a 35 or something and arrested.
Yeah, that was earlier this week.
Yeah, but I guess he's gonna play.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Jordan Addison. He had the same
That's
thing
petty.
earlier this season.
That is petty. Let him go.
Yeah, he should do whatever he feels like he wants to do because he's famous and a wide receiver for an NFL team.
I mean, I've probably driven 70 and a 35 at some point in my life.
I have to. But anyways, so yeah, I think that's about it for Browns Seahawks. Yeah, I think you can start Seahawks defense as well in a good matchup like this.
I like
So
Seahawks.
on to the next one. Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos. Higher over under 47. Chiefs are favored by 7. How do you feel about Patty?
Feel real good.
Good. Me too. What about Pacheco?
Feel real good.
Yeah. Let's go 3 for 3. How about Kelsey?
Really.
Just really good.
I don't know. I'm kind of worried about him in this matchup.
Okay, so who you starting? Rashee Rice. That's about the only startable wide receiver.
Man, Kelsey already has 525 yards.
Yeah.
Dude,
You know he got like picked 11th in the first round or 9th in the first round of our draft.
Really?
Yeah, it's like how was I was an idiot. I could have picked him 1-1 and been in a better spot than Justin Jefferson. That sucks.
Yeah.
I've never picked Kelsey ever in fantasy.
It's worth it. I mean,
Yeah,
because you have to play a tight end no matter what.
yeah.
And you're
I'm always streaming the
head
wrong
and
ones.
shoulders above everybody else's tight end.
Yeah, I'm playing against my own weaknesses, I guess. But yeah, I mean, Rashee Rice is about the only wide receiver I feel like you can be confident starting. It's a higher over under. It's going to be a good AFC West matchup. Game of the week, I say.
Is he the favorite receiver then now?
Yeah, I mean he's not getting a lot of snaps, but once he's in, he gets a high catch rate.
He's not on the field, but I throw him in your lineup.
I mean it's true, but
playing.
he's the only good fantasy output for rest of season. I see him as a trade for target because rookies start doing well second half of seasons. So,
Well, he is second behind Kelsey in targets, and I don't know if you just said this or not, but then Justin Watson is after him, so and it's not even close. So yeah, I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, I
Looks like
So-
Rice is the guy.
yeah. What about this Chiefs D? I think they're startable this week. I think
Yeah.
I see Russell Wilson as a high turnover kind of
Yep.
player right now. What about Russell Wilson? You think he's a good streamer?
Vegas says so.
Yeah, I think he can be streamed this week. I'm not going to do it, but if that's your guy, you like him. I mean, he was QB8 at the beginning of the season, like after 4 or 5 weeks. So I could
Yep,
see
he'll
doing
get you-
worse.
He'll get you some fantasy points as he's trying to come back in the fourth and lose and still
Exactly.
lose.
That's what you like about a negative game script. So, so who's the wide receiver? You think
Sutton.
Sutton? Yeah,
I'm glad you dropped him. I finally got like a backup receiver, like for my 4.
yeah. Didn't want to, but it's all a facade. He's getting a lot of touchdowns. So just when he doesn't get a touchdown, he's gonna screw you.
Right. But I mean, I feel like he's the one that he's actually trusting with like the red zone targets and all that.
Yeah,
I
mean-
feel like that stuff kind of matters.
yeah, it does. In those rare occasions where you don't want to rely on touchdowns, but it's the guy who's always getting those touchdowns, then you can trust it. I agree. He's about the only one I would start.
He has 5 and Judy has 0.
Yeah. See, if Judy could get some, you're going to see Cortland Sutton's go down. So you just hope for that to continue. Judy is a buy low candidate for me the rest of the season. I think, if you want to shoot your shot at somebody,
Yeah.
not having to give up anything hardly.
I like
So,
that.
What about the defense of the Broncos? Oh,
No.
we didn't talk about Javonte and McLaughlin. I think Javonte's coming back, right?
I don't know anything about these running backs, to be honest. I never pay attention to the Broncos running backs
Well-
since what's his freaking name? CJ Anderson. After that, I was like, man, these guys, they're all freaking
Yeah.
boring. Just boring running backs. Bunch of
Yeah.
well-fed plump mothers running the ball.
I think McLaughlin is going to see a lower amount of touches due to Javonte Williams being back. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be. Yeah, I mean, Javonte is going to see the field a lot more. It's a tougher matchup. I don't think you start either of them. I think the passing attack is what they're going to try to utilize. And didn't.
Yeah. And if McLaughlin or whatever his name is, man, if he gets hit like the wrong way, he's a tiny guy. He's only 5'7", 187.
Yeah.
But that's also kind of an advantage because I feel like you're slippery, People can't see you behind the linemen and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he led the backfield last
Random
week.
observation.
Sorry. Javonte was back in last week, so he led the backfield. I mean, that's who you'd start if you had to start.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't start either of them. What about this Broncos D? Just pass?
Nope, pass.
Yeah, I mean, they're a heck no for me always. So,
Especially
And-
against the Chiefs.
anybody else we didn't talk about in this matchup?
Nah.
Okay. We got Baltimore Ravens at the Arizona Cardinals. This is going to be beaten. 44.5 over under, 9.5 favorites, the Ravens.
Yeah, I bet they clear the spread.
Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be worse than even what it says. But, so that means Lamar's in. Mark Andrews is in. You going to be starting?
Lamar, Andrews, Zay, start.
Oh, yeah. You going to be starting Gus Edwards this week?
Nah.
I think you can start him. It's a good matchup, like the 4th best for running backs, but I wouldn't expect a lot. I mean, he did break out last game, or he got a good amount of points, but I don't see that 2 weeks in a row. But
Man, so Justice Hill, that's such a confusing backfield.
yeah, they do.
That's
share.
why I don't. That's why I don't really like starting it. It's just Justice Hill is the backup. He has better yards per average, and then
I
he
mean,
gets way more receptions. But Gus Edwards actually leads in fantasy points.
yeah, I mean, Gus Edwards got more touches, and that's more opportunities. So, I mean, that's who you can start. Justice Hill is probably better efficiency, but they're not giving him enough opportunity. So, the Ravens D, hard start. Got to start Ravens D here.
Yep.
Can't believe they were on our waiver wire like 1 week.
Yeah.
I tried to get them for $1, and I think they went for like 4. Anyways, Arizona Cardinals. That means you're probably not starting Josh Dobbs, but I heard Kyler Murray might even make a start this week. They haven't really made a decision. He's
I
still
wouldn't
in
bother
his,
with him.
Yeah,
Just missing that much time.
yeah. I would definitely hold off. Basically, on all your Cardinals. I mean, really, just Marquise Hollywood Brown,
That's what I was gonna say.
but I wouldn't expect a lot of points from him.
Yeah, James Conner's not gonna run all over the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, and
Or whoever is he he's back, right? He's healthy?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Trey McBride, I could see you streaming him as a tight end, but I wouldn't he wouldn't be my top choice. But yeah, I mean that's just because Arizona throws the tight end, and he's kind of an okay matchup this week.
Yeah, he's a good talent. I think maybe the future.
You see his highlight of him hurdling that guy last week? Dude was sick, man.
Really?
White
I
boy
didn't
can
see
jump.
that.
White boy can jump. Look it up.
I just remember seeing him last year, his rookie year, and I was actually impressed.
Yeah.
I always like watching tight end film just to find like the next Gronk, Travis Kelce, and the other Chief.
Tony Gonzalez.
Yes. Which Michael Mayer, I mean, he has a shot.
Yeah, I that's why I picked him up, but he didn't do anything, and I think Taysom Hill has better fantasy output this week. So
Just like Kelce his first year too.
yeah. Well, on to the next one. We got Cincinnati Bengals at the 49ers. Under is 43.5. The Bengals are underdogs by 5 points. Spread's kind of going back and forth because Brock Purdy.
Also, this just in on this one, Bengals beat the 49ers in San Francisco, and the 49ers have a 3-game losing streak.
Nice.
That's where I put my money on.
Yeah. Guys, I can see the Bengals winning this game, upsetting them. Kind of on a losing skid. So is Joe Burrow start?
Coming off the bye week?
Yeah. Is Joe Burrow start for you then?
Yep.
I think
that's why I got rid of Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I was confident even with them having to play the 49ers this week.
Yeah. I mean,
if Kirk Cousins can do it, Joe Burrow can do it.
Yeah, it's not a great matchup, but yeah, if you're using recency bias, I think you can definitely start them. Their pass defense hasn't been doing anything for the past 2 weeks, so. So what about the 49ers?
I'm not into Mixon, by the way, but Chase and Higgins for sure.
Yeah.
Burrow.
I think Higgins breaks out this game too. With your game script that you're showing, I mean, I think I follow through with Higgins.
The 49ers, what are they saying about Purdy? Like they might play Darnold?
Darnold was getting the start 2 days ago. Now, Brock Purdy is actually practicing. Concussion. Brock Purdy.
Okay.
So he's in between this.
It's like protocol. 2 losses.
No, it's just because it's concussion. So, essentially, I think you can start Brock Purdy if he's in, but I wouldn't trust starting.
Debo Samuel is out.
Sam Darnold when he's. Yep. I think Ayuk is a good start.
Ayuk,
Kittle's a good start.
Kittle,
Christian
yeah.
McCaffrey, he's always in. So,
Yep.
what about this 49ers D? Are you worried at all?
I have them in, but I'm not confident that they're gonna really like do anything for me.
Yeah.
I
Again,
expect the Bengals to win. They're the underdog. Vegas has it wrong. They get it wrong sometimes.
Yeah. And that's how it's gonna be. I need to find that.
That's how it's gonna be, man.
Vicky Valancourt soundboard. Yeah, I agree. I think you're kind of like the Dallas Cowboys this week. It's like you got to start them because they're your D, but I think you can find better options out there, streaming wise. So what about Chicago Bears at the Chargers? Over unders 46.5. We got 8.5 points. Underdogs for the Bears, which is crazy because the Chargers aren't doing so hot. If the Bears win this game, they got a better record than the Chargers.
Wow.
And the Chargers the same. So both 4-2 or 2-4. I mean, right?
I believe in the Chargers this game.
Yeah, I think they can do it. Justin Fields, he's probably in your lineup though with this terrible defense.
Yeah,
It's a good.
I would put him in, and I would think about. I know what's his name, Deontay Foreman. He had a great week last week. I think it was a fluke.
Yeah.
I think Roschon Johnson. I mean, man.
Yeah, he's back. He'll be back now with his concussion. He was out for 2 weeks because of that. So
yeah, and Herbert's out. So I mean, they might still roll with Deontay Foreman. It's risky because they'll be like, oh man, he had a great week last week. But
on the IR.
Yeah, when you look at the talent, Roschon Johnson is the best running back on the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
If you look at anything, there's that one game where Khalil Herbert, he had a great game, but it was just that one game. Roschon Johnson hasn't even gotten the ball that many times, but every time he does, just like when you watch him, it's just like, dang, he has something there to him, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think Roschon will be the guy you'd have to start, but I wouldn't start any of them confidently, not knowing who it would be. I guess.
Confidently, yeah, for sure.
Not knowing how it is with him back. But yeah, shoot your shot, either guy, I guess. DJ Moore, he's in my lineup. I think it's a good matchup.
Komet, yep.
Yeah, I think you can stream Komet too. It's going to be higher over under than I think it will. What it says, 46. So with that,
another one to add to your parlay, man.
Yeah. So what with that? Neither defenses, then, right?
Nah, I wouldn't start either one.
Yeah. So, Justin Herbert, you like him?
Yep.
What about the wide receivers here? Keenan Allen obviously is in, but what do you do? Joshua Palmer is out. If he's out, I thought he was questionable this week.
Well, let me just take a look.
Yeah, he's questionable right now with his knee. He's limited practice on Friday, so he still might not play.
If he's out, then throw Quentin Johnson in and just see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, he's a highly talented rookie. I mean, he could break out this game. Yeah, I mean, you're lucky if you have Keenan. What about? I think Gerald Everett is even injured, so I mean, maybe Parham will get something, but I wouldn't touch the tight ends here.
Yeah, that's pretty desperate.
Yeah.
Eckler, good.
Eckler's going to be a good matchup. I think he's going to get a lot of PPR points. So, but yeah, see him
line is healthy
to feast. So I mean, those guys are always in usually, anyways. Herbert, Eckler, and Allen. So if Josh Palmer's not playing, I would shoot your shot at Huge if you have to. But if Joshua Palmer's playing, I think you can start him, even with his injury. So, okay, we got 5 minutes left to do the last matchup. This is Raiders at the Detroit Lions, 46 over under. The Raiders
Oh, this is a good one.
underdogs by 8. What do you feel about Garoppolo? This is his second game back
Second or third.
from injury. Okay. How do you feel about Garoppolo?
I don't know. He's always off and on, I feel like.
I don't think you stream him this week. If you're looking at it, I mean, it's a good matchup, but Detroit sometimes can really burn you with their defense.
Their
And
pass
especially-
rush is what I've seen. I mean, all things aside, meaning the Baltimore Ravens game, their pass rush has been pretty good.
Yeah. As far as Josh Jacobs, you think he bounces back from a bad week last week?
I mean, I'd like to say he would.
It's a tough matchup against the rush defense of Detroit. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't really perform against the Bears, so
the only one I like starting on that roster is Devontae, obviously.
I think
That's
Jacoby
true.
Myers
About
is a good
Oh,
start.
I forgot about him. Yeah, actually, both of them.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers is he's kind of seen more targets when Garoppolo's in, surprisingly. So
I mean, if you have Josh Jacobs, though, chances are that's either your number 1 or your number 2 running back.
Yeah.
So he's
I think-
probably going to be in.
yeah, I think you got to start him, but it's tough, man. Maybe he'll surprise you, but yeah, I agree. Jacoby is definitely in, and Devontae is definitely in. With this past defense not being as good for the Detroit Lions, so
That is so wild. I drafted Josh Jacobs last year as like my number 3, and he killed it.
yeah, he broke out. Some people called it last year, and then the same people were calling it again this year, and I'm not a believer. I wasn't a believer last year in Josh Jacobs.
I had Christian McCaffrey, Nick Chubb, and Jacobs last year, and they
Yeah.
all 3.
That's why
just
you went to
murdered.
the championship, man. That's why you beat me.
That's why they. I forget who the other one was. I think it was Swift, but he had a slow season.
Alrighty, well, that's probably it for the Raiders. I mean, would you start Mayer?
No,
Yeah, I wouldn't.
not yet.
No, that one game he broke out was great, but you got to see some consistency. And the Raiders defense you wouldn't really start because the implied point total is pretty high for Detroit.
He's just a youngin'.
Since they're favored. So Jared Goff, are you gonna start Jared Goff?
Yep,
Did you know his brother's name was
I
Jack?
certainly am. I did not. Jack Goff. Dude, it's kind of funny because it sounds like something else.
Yeah. Tim got me with that too. You didn't hear that on that one episode. Anyways, yeah. So you're probably starting Jahmyr Gibbs this week. He kind of really did well with all his
Start everybody.
opportunity. I mean, yeah, Amon-Ra too, and obviously, but what about Josh Reynolds this week? It's a good matchup for passing, with Marvin, that Marvin guy retiring. He's going to see more touches. Jameson Williams really hasn't done anything, so I think you can start Josh Reynolds this week.
I don't mind some Josh Reynolds.
Yeah.
This week.
Yeah. So
Sam Laporta.
yeah, you got to have him in your lineup. He's always good start. Yeah, and obviously you wish David Montgomery was back. Detroit Lions would you start him?
Yes, I would. And would you start Craig Reynolds?
Nah. I mean, he didn't do well in his opportunities that 1 week, so.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Well,
and Timothy, if you're listening, I no longer want St. Brown, so you can have him. You're not getting any of my players.
Trying to solve way too high. Yeah, we can talk about trades here in a sec after